Evening. Hello, Just Player. Hello, Karen Ram. And I'm glad you like the music. How are we all doing? At the moment? So now in 16th? Ooh, Sunny still top 6. Massive. When I last looked, seems to have settled a little bit. Right. We float forward by some US air. By some various things. First, in the sense that you're the third person to type in chat. The fourth, if you count me. Good try, though. Definitely the first to say first, which is the important part. Read this. That's a lot. Could be terribly, terribly awful. We'll find out. Sort of depends on how effectively we get to turn 3. It's going to be Germany ramps. Actually, it might not be bad. Yeah, it's totally worth. But I'm just going to body these out, I think. Mostly because we expect this to happen. Watson route. Oh, you have 4 routes, and then you've got 2 units. Admiral Hitler. Only 3 credits, though. Very much a swarming kind of a deck. And clears, never going to end. Kind of no. Is the thing. But the clears are going to keep happening. Our opponent is starting to get very short-handed. The route handlock is a thing, 1, 2, 3s is a thing, which I'm going to assume is what this actually. Handlock's actually quite tricky to play well, so I tend to win most of the matches, depending on what deck I'm on. I come up against it. This. You. One unit on answer. Right, but thing ugly as fuck. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, it's gonna happen. If you looked as I began it, I've long since dropped out of Hey Twitserino, so sadly no giveaways at the moment. Oh look, Bismarck. But yeah, the I mean, I'm what, back down in the 2200s. I can't keep up. I mean, I'm still a very respectable elo. I can't keep up the pace. So I've not been restocked yet, and I have not been contacted. So we are contacted with available giveaways, and so we are dependent on when those are sent to us. They send us batches of codes. Which honestly probably is actually not the only time this has happened. The only reason this didn't happen, at least to me, the last time we had an expansion, I keep this, is that during the expansion there wasn't enough, because they have to go and generate them using the system. There just weren't enough people to. I think this. Good point. I mean, effectively, Ahmed, yeah. So they actually have to generate the codes, and if you assume that they're generating, I don't know how big my code batches tend to be. If I'm doing 5 a stream, is it anywhere between 20 and 30 codes per content creator? For every month that they're generating them, someone actually has to generate those codes, then get them parsed and sent over to uploaded. And during expansions, that tends to be harder to. Oh, I don't like this. Hands get obliterated. What we can do about it, though, so we're concentrating on hitting face as hard as is humanly possible. Unless we top deck duress, we really don't have much in the way of an answer to. Not that this deck is earth-shatteringly good or anything. It is incredibly annoying. I think is important to. Well, we could put a match. I think we trade this out. Up. Okay. I like that. Perfectly happy. What new thing did we learn about Overwhelming Force? I haven't played with it very much, so I don't actually know much about it myself. Actually, suppression's annoying. This is not the deck that I was expecting. Interesting. I did not know that. Oh, I forgot to push you forward. So it does actually. I mean, I suppose it makes sense, because Overwhelming Force wouldn't be able to. So this is pop the deck up for you. There are a number of builds floating around. This is I don't. Very awkward. Big fan of all. So this is US main Italy ally air. Core, who may or may not point. I know he hangs out on my streams. Did a very good video on his version of it. My list is a little bit different. But it is. It's I'm bouncing around. I reached my tolerance for laddering. As I often do. In fact, I have done every time I've done it. Yes, weirdly, I was watching that video as I was prepping for this stream, and therefore I was looking at my deck and his deck at the same time. Assume that these are all going to be dead. Probably running a big countermeasure. But my list is a little different. But it's the same logic. Absolutely the same logic. And it works. It's... But yeah, as happens every single time. Sit down and decide that I'm going to have a bit of a run at ladder. I realise I just don't have the desire to just repeatedly play the same deck over and over and over again into the same matchups, no matter how consistently I'm winning, just to see my name on a list of names. It doesn't inspire a great deal of interest in. So I kind of just took a break and I've started playing around doing what I usually do, which is spending a lot of time. Do it. Trying out different decks. Playing different ways. Cooking some various things and hovering around the bits. I'm pretty sure we had it minus the top deck. As we can do quite a lot of cycling. I mean, honestly, Karen, if you're looking to finish in the top 50, you probably don't want to play more than 2 decks. Most of the time, you're only going to play 1 deck, in my experience, because you really want to be zeroed in on and mulligan book and your play sequence into every matchup in that deck. Like, reaching the point that I was on my previous Saturday stream was not a minor thing for me. I had to put a great deal of effort in to get there. And there's a lot of question as to whether the now we probably don't do fantastically well into the matchup. It's going to be commandos, but generally you need to hyper focus if you're gonna. Ooh. Let me out what's gone on with that. We'll see if we can fix that in a moment, because it should be. I have no doubt that it's not, but it is possible that it's just miscopied. Let me. I paste this. Does that work? Or is there an actual issue with the code. Yes, yes. I'm going to spam a million orders. Then we're going to do this. And the fight. That's all we can do. I'd like to get the goose down, but we're actually facing. Going to get strangled out pretty quickly with order spam. It's okay. We've got a refill. Yeah, let me know if that code actually works. If it doesn't, I'll re-export the deck. Cycle, 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 cycle. Complete board clear, of course. Now, normally I'd be quite confident here, but it is not difficult to get these two commandos, or it's not difficult to get this set of commandos to do 15 damage in a single turn. That's unusual. Hey, Dan. Truly and genuinely. Oh, did I just play you? I don't know everyone's in-game names. If I did and I didn't recognise you, I do apologise. Very rude of me. I should really do, like, I should start a channel on Discord. People's names. Oh, it's Cyrillic. Fair enough. I would attempt, but my Cyrillic is really, really bad. Bam. How many orders can you do? Well, that's interesting. We're still dead. Actually took you longer than I expected. Now, when it comes to simplified, by you guys, do you mean as in internal testing? Or is this a reference to some of the polls that I know 1939 are throwing up? Oh, that was disappointing. Just in general for chats. Fair question. I'd be interested to see whether anyone has any thoughts. I'd also be interested to see what people think would be the best way to define it. I mean, if you mean hard in the decks with the highest win rate. I'm interested. That's frustrating. I would be surprised if it's not either a standard or a limit. If it's depending on the basis of the discussion, it's usually going to be either a standard or a limited card, simply because the usual definition of best card in the game is card played in consistently in decks with the highest win rate. Because I'm both interested to find out what the answer is, so to hear what the metric being used. Oh, in the current qualifiers, I'd have to look to see. Short answer is no, I don't know that one off the top of my head. I'd actually have to look to see that one. Don't know whether Soviet Hyper Aggro would be that popular, honestly. If it's German, and we're talking about the competitive scene, I wouldn't be at all surprised if it's Volksbrenn or Crossfire. Yeah, Crossfire will be run constant, but that's really just primarily a response to Commando life, I think. Because, yeah, Crossfire is an incredible card at the moment. It's great into Commandos. It's great into Legions if you know how to set it up. It's great into any board-centric deck, like the one that we're playing, that has low defense. And it's amazing into aggro. Kyoto Regiment would not surprise me, given that it's limited and everyone's going to run a full set in Legions. Tarnow would be less likely, because unless it's the one of. That's the other question. Are we talking about by number of decks that it's run of at least as a single copy, or number of total copies of the cards run in the event? It's interesting to see the different metrics you can use, but Tarnow wouldn't surprise me either. Many of the Legions things. There's a fair few out there. Oh, the What the special that produces the 2-2? Is it a special? It's the regiment that produces the 2-2 when it kills something. 77th, I think, is the correct one. But the scouting party also wouldn't shock me. It's just good value, and Shibata would have been my final kind of. Oh look, Shibata on the screen. Shibata would also be probably not that uncommon, because I think a lot of people will be wondering if anyone brings commandos and possibility. But Shibata would not surprise me at all in the current meta. Rock this for the card draw. Oh, 15th Cav would also not shock me. Simply, if everyone's brought a Japan main deck, they are all going to have something like 15th Cavalry. Or Anne, another Japan staple. Sure. Sorry, clarify, Ahmed. Was the correct answer Shibata or Type 94? I assume it was Type 94. Which, yes, pretty much always put in. I mean, Shibata, what we are? Crossfire, Arado, Prussian, Shibata, Type 94, Hipper, Desperate and Scouting Party Expansion. Yeah, that does not show. The fact that it's mostly Germany and Japan is also in no way, shape, or form surprising. Legitimately is not. Anne is just basically, unless you have something weird going on, Anne's just to include if you own the Elite. Are too good not to run. But there are certain neat circumstances. What? I mean, sure, but what? Strength. Oh, it's burn. Fair enough. So, really, to learn not to rock that on your own countermeasure. Yeah, Twitzer. Anne's an incredible card. Second rating. Yeah, I can see. Many of these might just. Don't want Regia. Probably not. Oh, this is a decent starting hand, but I'm guessing Ahmed's gone over the decks for the qualifiers, which are running today. I have not looked. I've not had the time. Aggro decks will be more qualifier than. Oh, see, that's a weirdly specific ask. Rather you had to spend the credit. But, I mean, if you're looking at non-Navy, there are a number of really route control decks out there. Although I will remind people as usual, particularly if Ahmed is happening to, I don't know whether Ahmed's sharing their own laddering, whether Ahmed's sharing lists from the qualifiers. Decks being used in competition are not, by definition, going to be on ladder. One does not necessarily follow the. Honestly, I am quite interested to have a look at the qualies. Get a chance. Curious as to how much. Ahmed, since you've gone over it, did everyone just bring a Commandos deck, or have a lot of the competitive players chosen not to bother? Hey, cool. How doing? 1-2-3s is going to be popular because it's cool. So we're paying 1 for this then. 2 to do, yeah. And I am not too bad, thank you kindly. Good video, by the way. I enjoyed your latest video. Ironically, I was watching your latest video while prepping for this stream and noted that you were on a very similar deck list. Mine is a little bit different. Not colossally. I mean, unless you found a guard, this is kind of over. I mean, rush, I assume. But, I mean, that's what a draw. 1 rush. The rush? Very probable. Right. So, first of all, let me see if I can... that this deck is... Yeah, working 6-day weeks is not going to be fun. I suppose if I want to say if there's any such thing as an advantage to being disabled, it's that I don't have to worry about working weeks, although I do still try and do things. Right. Okay, so if I pull this... Right. Someone wants to check that code and see if it's working. Whiskey and Bear, nice. I love that that's good. Makes me happy. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all. Understand why, because that is, I've literally just exported this. This is literally the export code for the deck. Yeah, you need to remove current deck and the space. There's no stars in the string. I'm so confused, Twitzerino. I mean, I'm looking at my chat. Is it if anyone else is seeing the stars, can someone screenshot them and send me where the stars are appearing? Because I'm not seeing the chat. Thanks, cool. Oh, by the way, you might enjoy the code. I have a feeling that there's not that much difference. Mine is ever so slightly different. Oh, it's Kumashin. Run into Kumashin for a while. Oh dear. Apparently, we were both thinking very, very similarly. The goose is probably optional. Core was not running it. Just, I think it's worth it because the draw is bonkers. Oh, your Twitter also Twitch is censoring characters. Fair enough. All good. All we can do is slow you down because we have absolutely nothing in hand. We are bricked really badly. We can at least make the trade bad. Going for the bomber. Fair enough. Alright, we just need a... The thing is, you're not bricked. Because that's someone's done that to you. Would be my argument. I don't think your deck didn't brick you. Somebody else just bricked your entire deck, which is a different thing. And I have seen that many. I got... Guys. The 1-2-3 combos thing, I'm so not sold on, which will surprise absolutely nobody. I just fundamentally, yeah, the 4-4. As I said in my review of the set, it's an absolute must answer. So bad. I mean, there are ways we can get out of this, but plenty. All right, that helps. Do this, this, do this. Leaves our opponent only doing the 5 damage. Yeah, JUS is the strongest version purely because you've got so many good targets for the 1-2-3s. Because Comet is an incredible target for 1-2-3s. Obviously, on Michigan. It's a very strong way of playing it. I believe we are just dead. Yeah, shifting attack again. Just there's so much synergy in. Okay. Germany's also just got some really good, solid units that make that work. I've not done the 1-2-3 combo thing. Interested in brews. I don't know if you're in it. This is my latest Soviet brew, which I'm still not entirely convinced about. But it's legions, but it's basically a Soviet control shell with legions. Or it does indeed. Hmm. Extremely worthwhile. Channel. This. That's Core's latest video. Hey, Sonny! Oh, I'm always happy to see you, my friend. How are you doing? I hope you are well. Yeah, life will do that. Stream is good. Stream is a nice bit of relaxation. I have not been feeling great over the last few days because I do not. My illnesses not combo well with being excessively. Oh, I mean, it's 5. We can get past turn 3. It's great. But if this is pure aggro or burn, the odds of us getting past turn 3 are relatively small. I think we do that because of the extra body. Yes, I think it's safe to say we're not going to run out of buffalo. This is not the ancient West. Buffalo will not be. Our survival, on the other hand, almost certainly. I want to see how our opponent approaches. Okay. We're going to get hyper aggressive. He can live with that. We do. This. Our opponent now has to make a decision. 6. That's only 10. I don't have the bodies for it. Alright, that's kinda top deck of the day. But we aren't out of... The top deck's poor right now. Unfortunately... Oh, I did the maths wrong. No, it was there. I needed to trade one in the right place and drop the Coronado. That was very much on me. I might be wrong. As I say, I'm very, very muzzy-headed at the heat has been giving me a kicking lately. Although, if everyone's positive thoughts can go for later on this week, someone coming round... Commandos, I need bodies earlier. I mean, it might not be Commandos, but it probably is. But if anyone's got positive thoughts, I would appreciate them. I have someone coming later on this week to give me a quote on getting the house air conditioned. And then I have to sort funding for the air conditioning. But due to my paralysis episodes and other illnesses, I really don't do well in the... Means a lot. But yeah, I'm in need of doing quite a lot of work on the house in the process of convincing, or at least trying to argue for funding to support the work that I'm doing. Funding is not easy to come by. I'm not a particularly productive or valuable member of society. Five? Let's go hard. We should be able to scrape an additional 5-ish damage. 5 or 9. I mean, I'd say it's kind of bad, but he's very short on resource. So... Oh dear. Oh, that's too funny. I can save myself the maths. But as archetypes go, and I mentioned this when I was talking about the card. Myself and J King both thought people were sleeping on how good Brewster's and air cover in particular really, really is. I think a lot of people got very distracted, understandably so, by shiny, complicated cards that were doing new and funky things. Free cost, 2/2/2s in the front line is just value. Okay, so it's like a weird variation. I call this back. Then it's going to draw as an extra unit. That's fine. Oh, that's a good air unit draw as well. Interested to see the response here. Now that is an interesting choice to take off the board. Might like it back though. Kind of valuable. Actually. Okay. That's really good. Yes, yes, it is. Strike group's decent, but carrier cover's just insane. How much more value? Kinda busted. Very, very strong. There are quite a few different variations on it, but it's it's a frontline deck for those who played old frontline. It's the similar tempo style of play where you're just looking to get to the front line, consistently buff units, trade efficiently, and then take advantage when you can. And that never gets old, at least as far as I'm concerned. Okay, that was pretty cool. This. Oh, that was a little annoying. Not annoying enough. But still definitely capable of making a push quite high up on ladder if it wanted to. And it's, I think, a quite solid deck to play. It doesn't require insane combos, but it does require that you play it with a certain amount of thought. Is again why I would very much recommend watching Core's video. gives you a very good idea of the thought process needed to play the deck. Okay. World of hyper interesting play, I guess. Sort of hoping to get them to waste another one. Got one gone. This is just Wheel of Route. Is a thing. We are less worried by it as a thing because honestly, you need to get to turn 8 fairly effectively. That's just brutal. You see multiple Alabama triggers. It's a glorious, glorious thing to see. Okay. That was just mean. In fairness, so was that. Yeah, we knew that was coming. Legitimately. We know that you're going to continually just... Like, this card, like the art on this card, by the way, is the thing, and there's a fun story about the art on this card. So, you may or may not be aware, because I don't know whether anyone's ever talked about it, but I'm pretty sure I can talk about it safely. During internal testing, we don't always have access to card art. Because the card art's often still being developed. So quite often we're playing with just text on a card. When this piece of art was first sent out, I happened to get in touch and ask about it, because this piece of art gave me feels. This is a seriously good piece of art. What's cool about this piece of art is this is, I think, one of, if not the first pieces of art that was drawn and created by one of 1939's own team. I think. Kicking around on Discord somewhere. But anyway, that's it is a piece of art that I just absolutely. Yeah. You can look at it for ages and see the different pieces. But yes, you get the little logo on the card, which is weird. But they are... I'm not quite sure why that is. It's very odd, because... I shall have to go check my door after this match, but has our opponent just gone offline? Or, oh no, we're just thinking. Okay, thinking valid. We end this? No, but we can... meander into the realms of crazy. I'm going to do this. This. Back this. Then we're going to do this. There we go. Yeah, no, I'd be with Core on that. You could run it, but I'm honestly not a fan of Defeat in Detail in general. I just think Defeat in Detail in general is kind of a win more card. It reminds me of a card that was around in Magic the Gathering for a while, and I cannot remember the name of it, but it was another kind of rolling buff thing, and while cool and interesting and able to do some funky stuff, in the end, you kind of were just winning in a way where you could probably have won ages ago. Every now and then, this is great. Have to die. Yeah, Britain Japan Commandos, I can see it if it goes insane. I mean, if you can get it early, but I mean, it's consistent enough. That becomes the ultimate question, I think. Yeah, why do I get a feeling that you and I come from a tremendously similar school of thinking? I'm not a great believer in a card's good because sometimes it's great. I don't know if we can actually win this, because there's so much late value because of Blitz Doctrine. Because this is just... There's a reason I don't play combo decks or make the cool meme videos that some people like with big combo decks. Yeah, we're gonna get absolutely trashed. That's so frustrating. We done. There we go. I shall be right back. I shall put this deck up on the screen in a debate. My build versus cause build. Excellent. I've returned. Sorry about that. I need to sort a delivery at my door. Right. And go back and see if we can climb a little bit higher. Oh yeah, if any of the people who are owed any of their stream rewards for their stream points are in chat at any point, let me know. Um, I don't think we should have everything but an air cover. Plus side, we have a Fiat, which is such a good prop in this deck. That is a very, very good piece of advice and an excellent mentality to have, which I think is more. I think needs to be more and more. Unless you are choosing at this end, unless you actually want to make it to the next tournament, there is no reason to do anything other than play the things you enjoy. Um, and take the initial hit, because that gives a chance to better position. Clearly, if you're competing, different game. Coronado. Actually, Coronado's only plus carrier cover, which will allow us to do this. Allow us to do this. In qualification at the minute also is a bit of a weird. If you're interested in qualifying in, I guess, the most efficient way possible, very good argument. Your method, your best method of qualification is actually playing iron tournaments. Is ironic. I don't want to trade one of these, but I kind of have to. Because then we can do this. I didn't really want to do it this way, but I think there are worse ways to do it. We do have ability clearing the back line. Don't need to be aware of crossfire. We do need to be aware of desperate measures, which would be at board clip, which I'd like to get round. I mean, that's kind of fine, actually. 1, 2, 6. But if we just Tornado. This guy. Want the 4. Want the perfect trade. And we want 5. But yeah, qualification in this game is because of its strict repetition base, it's very, very hard to justify. The sheer amount of grind to qualify, which is crazy. There is a crazy amount of grinding. Now, each of you is going to deal 1 damage. Problem. But, if we do this, all right, that helps a lot. Back on deck as well. So, clear the one in the back line. Should be all done. There we are. The odds weren't great, but they weren't terrible. There was about a 30-some-odd% chance we'd find a card that could. I mean, yeah, it's a weird one unless you are incredibly proficient, like J-King, and able to, or Berto, and able to maintain insane win. It's very hard to narrow that amount of time, and you could grind. Yeah, poker's a different deal, though, because poker pays for it. I have played a chunk in my life. Uh, That was alright. You're just passing. There's nothing proactive or productive. Starts to become now, because we do this. Opponent starts to salivate. This. Yeah, it's just not worth it, even as a content creator. I mean, I'll say this again, and you guys are amazing, and I'd be an idiot to say anything other than please don't ever do anything other than your continued support, because it means the world. But honestly and truthfully, this game doesn't have a big enough community or following really. It's any kind of a living as a streamer. I consider myself to be fairly active. People seem to enjoy what I do, but I'm not gonna be printing my own retirement check based on Cards Content Creator. Yeah, legitimately the only reason I make content is because I enjoy the community. And also, I mean, in fairness, it's an interesting thing for me, and I don't know whether it's interesting to people, but I find it interesting that one of the I don't really want to see bulbs either. I think this is really quite bad. Unless we top deck duress, I think we're cooked. But one of the biggest things is the impact this has on my limited life. I have a community around me that I wouldn't have anywhere else. Kind of all we've got does get us an extra body back. But yeah, this is a big part of this has just been getting connected and enjoying that. Oh dear. Very over. Legitimately, probably one of the... They did position on now incorrectly, but you know. We didn't really have the reach to punish it. Because we're just outvalued. Which is one of the things that Legions will do. It's very, very good value. But no, I mean, any kind of content creation I do. This, designing tabletop RPG maps, which you can get on my Patreon, which you would get if you Patreoned me for this, because it's on Patreon. By the way, if anyone knows any good web designers who know about branding and integration, at me. I really do need to sort out a proper professional website at some point, but I have the skills to build a website. I do not have the skills to brand and integrate the way a website should read and flow. Which is ironic, considering I'm a published writer. But it's a very different kind of writing. I know I'm squandering the damage, but hopefully be able to put this guy back on top at some point and like positioning. commandos. Therefore, eternally annoy me. Literally dropping everything just because it's stats on the board that they have to burn damage. In the hope that at some point we miraculously get some draw and are able to get back in the game. Because at the moment, we're lucky they don't have mapping face. But yeah, I mean, this community and Discord and everything, that's such a part of my life now that that's the reason I keep doing what I do. Well, that and the fact that you guys seem to enjoy it. Scepter is definitely going to be conscious of, yeah. I've been hit a couple of times by that in Commanders. Interesting, some decks run it, some decks don't. The better Commandos players tend to run Scepter. However, we're not holding up credits, so I have a feeling has come. Yes, it is a little. I don't disagree with you. Hey, non-Juma Soul. I was talking about you earlier. I am aware that I owe you a 5-game test of a deck. Because I kept a record. So if you do have a deck that you're testing, please do let me know. But I do try and keep a record of these things. At the moment, we're just chilling. On the plus side, I learned my lesson. I've once again learned that I have literally no desire to even remotely think about competing. No doubt, at some point, I will go back and think, ooh, maybe I want to again. I mean, Twitzerino, if you've not just, in all seriousness, had a crack at good old-fashioned buffs high roll, I recommend you do, if only for giggles. Don't need here at the minute. Gives us the chance to draw Reggie around. Wow, okay. Sure. Well, we know what we're drawing. But yeah. Oh, given the choice, I'd much rather play the covert deck. I've not played a covert deck since I was testing radishes and then tweaking it for ladder. I love a bit of covert. Oh, convert. Oh, convert I would also play quite happily. Sorry. Problematic. Reggie's not enough damage. I just restore. I look forward to trying it. I like a bit of conversion. I think it's an interesting mechanic. Outside, obviously, of persistently just turning everything into routed. Is it the handlock archetype is interesting. On the plus side, this will be over fairly soon. Right, let's pull Angemo's deck. Because that's just so much more fun. I've become completely immune, I think. I may well have done at some point. That doesn't necessarily mean I won't enjoy doing so again. Oh, using the yes, I remember this. We've got the little 1, 2, 3. Well, honorifics. Go. Give the card back. Ooh. Yeah, I seem to remember it probably not looking quite the same, but it should be fun. And that's kind of what I'm here for. You're not going to kick this early. Probably actually do better than all. Yes, we definitely. Oh. Interesting. Such a good value, one drop. Damn it. That's the only reason we wouldn't just push up, right? The 51st back, which is a hurt. Yes, 1, 2, 3s. 51st on the other side. Then we KV, convert pickle into another 51st. Converts that to a 5/5 tank. The 51st is the 0/2 guard that gets +1/+2 when you convert one or more cards. So we want to deploy this and go up. Because now 410. Unfortunately, it can get routed, but there's not a lot we can do about that. Ah. Alright, I'm looking for NGMOs to what answer we run this. Yoing victory banners ourselves just to get a bunch of motor rifles. Rounds of 51st next turn, yeah, that's fair. So we do this. 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 Just puts everything on the board. Then hope it doesn't hit victory banners with 50-50. Three. Do I? Yeah, I suppose it's. Did okay. Yeah. Right. This needs to die. Can't do anything with that. But yeah, I'm just making sure I play slowly enough to keep the right things guarded. Like, it doesn't technically matter. It makes it much harder for him to answer the board. There's really not a lot he can do right now. Yes, I keep forgetting that. They're really good. Forget they have the ambush. Pushed up the third one. Oh. Hope that I roll. Have to stack this. Be alright to put this down. It should be good odds that we pull something decent at the minute. It's got some very strong uses right now. I'm not gonna lie. Unfortunately, our opponent is not. Um, kinda want our opponent to get more. I can't believe I'm saying this. This is a patience game. What I want our opponent to get more. Um, this kind of sort of have to. And then we just have to hope we can create some value because our opponent is definitely big. I'm just feeling overly pressured on the board right now. And this is going to demonstrate very efficiently why Germany has so many good value. Drop this can only hit Panzer. Oh no, we can hit Michigans. So last destroyed unit. Impressive. I think again gonna get whacked by massive tanks. This is definitely a reps, which I like. Yeah. Comet's insane. He throws. Oh, I need to put you up on board as well, because that's game one. There you go. Although I have no doubt that it's my piloting skill, because I like this. Don't want early. 15th motor rifles is probably a key. Because if this is burn off, honorifics isn't fantastic. I mean, to be fair, there's a reason that I'm particularly, and any of us are particularly on certain decks, with the exception of really remarkable players. And a big part of that is personal playstyle. Like there's a reason I'm good on air decks, and always have been. They just suit the way that I play the game. There's a reason that I enjoy a German Japan naval at the moment deck that I note, by the way, that Karen Ram managed to pilot into the top 200. Well done, by the way. Another deck that just suits my natural play style. We have nothing to convert it into, so we kind of want to draw. Well, I'll put it here. You, I suppose. Let you do your thing. That's what we need, is a conversion trigger. Maybe 80. Next. Yeah, valid. Okay. No. This feels kind of dirty. Yeah, I know. I saw this interaction in playtesting. It feels kind filthy. 85. What would? Think do this. Might as well. Hurt you. Second 9. Yeah, Corson, fourth guard's probably in 90%, 5% plus. I mean, fourth guards, I can rarely imagine a Soviet deck that doesn't feel okay running it. It's legitimately cracked. Corson's weird because it's still just value on a stick. It just feels less explosive nowadays, but I still think it's a pretty solid card. It's not. I wouldn't say it's as much of an auto include, but I would say that. I mean, a 9/9 that's just getting cheaper every time your opponent draws. Right, hang on. So I want to put this down, because then when we put this down. Oh wait, this down first. Is then when we put this down, it converts into this, which procs on both of them. Push this, by this, then turning sort of maybe into a decent engine. This deck has the ability to greed some really obscenely large units. Meta for sure. I don't think Cawthon's particularly been power crept yet. It's still really good value. I do feel you. I think your turn. Yep, my run's done, which is fair. Value wasn't going anywhere. Yeah, you really could, I suppose, actually. Yak 7's too good a turn to Rifle Brigade. One is I'm okay with this hand. Good turn 1. And then we've probably got a really good ooh, hello. Right. Sort of hoping we can start. What are we on? Yes. If you redeemed a 5-game test deck and sent it to me, I would run it to be the back end of the stream. I'd run this, then your 5-game test. Quite happily. That would round out a stream nicely. A thin the deck. I probably do. I think for the moment we just thin the deck until we've got the credits to start doing true dusting. Almost certainly. So this is going to turn into the battle of who can build the biggest. So, do this. Yeah, I can see that because of the way that motor rifles works. Motor rifles in and of itself is kind of the, in many ways, you're building just motor rifle. I don't want. Do I? Yes. This. For the moment, they'll survive the intel issue. 123 Yak 7 was something I was considering, but I was a little bit concerned about just ending up with 1,000,000 tons of overdraw. This. Definitely. This. Now we could pull the one. It's so tempting, isn't it? And it is actually, honestly, when you're a newer player, like when you're really, really low down, every time I've done a big climb, it's been amazing. I do tend to agree. It's one of those cards that just looks like it should be incredibly good, but doesn't. A card I'm beginning to really detest. Yeah, it doesn't find itself. Run motor rifles. Don't want to turn anything into 1, 2, 3s. Yak. Get ourselves. Ink. It happens in most card games, I think. You end up with. Ooh, okay, fine. That was in the best possible way, I findeth this deck quite challenging to play. Probably means that at some point I'm going to spend some time fucking around on it off. I'm not quite passing in my head the way that I want it to yet. The thing is, as Core says, the thing is, value like that needs an engine around it that can benefit from the value. It just doesn't have it. Nothing. There's no reason to drop you. It's because you know the deck. It's why I endlessly say that pilot skill is hugely important. I have absolutely no doubt that watching me play a deck blind, unless it's one that well, okay, lie depends on the deck, but unless it's one that makes a kind of very specific sense very quickly, um, I just can't. I need time to parse it and understand it because I don't. I mean, I don't think I'm helping myself by the fact that I've done nothing with 1, 2, 3 since I landed, so I don't understand how to properly sequence it. I find the whole concept very awkward because I like just value. Um, so guy. Is the whole convert thing is just not sure I fully get the engine, as the current win rate will show you. Yes, I think that's about as close as I've gotten, having like if I play these now, they just die. But if I play, I do not see a play here at all that has any value. Because motor rifles doesn't proc anything. So in my head, this is just ass I'm having to do now because unless we've got like I honestly part of me's like this deck needs ramp because I think you need about 8 credits in my head for it to do anything, but I'm sure I know that's not the case. Because I know that's not how you build the decks, it's how it feels. So with 6 credits, we can deploy this guy, this guy, this guy, and then this guy. Which then creates a bunch of kind of basic. Then we just need more third. So we can. So we can convert one of these making the other guys bigger. So if I trade with this, then convert this, then this, push these, and we fill out the space. But I'm pretty sure we're just dead. Feels so slow. Hello. I don't understand what they're doing in the deck, if I'm honest. I don't understand what you can do with them that's valuable. Yeah, someone did not pay attention. Um, understandable. Good 1, 2, 3s. Then if we play this, the 1, 2, 3 that buffs these guys. Which then if we push this guy forward, gets us another proc. I think I'm starting to get it. They're just fodder, right? They're like a 1 credit proc. Might be starting to get it. Way too late in this. I might be starting to get it. Okay. So this dies. This dies. And we play this. And all that dies. Now we just hope that you don't have anything with blue. Oh, excellent. Thank you, Ahmed. I look forward to that. Grab that one in a minute and play it. Finish out these 5 first. That still has 1, 2. So, if we put this down, this forward target 1, 2, 3. Oh, oh, you frustrate me in the best possible way, which I like. Right, last bet on this, but also. Oh yeah, you could have just if I'd killed it, then we basically end up with infinite motor rifles, or near infinite rifles. Okay. This is complicated for my, as I am a bear of very little brain. On drops. Ahmed, please grabbing your code shortly. Right. So, pink. Ah, Core has just caught on with that. Yeah. No, I was with that a while ago. What I forgot is that we can. But yes, as long as you can keep one alive, he is correct. If NGMO has definitely gotten onto something very effective there. But we can't convert into anything because it's dead. Can't convert anything. I do rifle. I get you. Yeah, of course. Because it's on a different. Okay. And how I do not die. I know I suicide this. I have to. But I don't then want to do that. Yeah, it's just over. That's fine. Okie dokie. I will say this much. Is definitely interesting. Right, let's import our meds back. Ahmed, not Ahmed. Deck all over again. Right. Ooh, hello. This is the German 123. Okay, this is the 2 3s with lots of targets. Yeah, I mean everyone's got different kind of deck playing blind spots unless they are shaking. Moose boy. No, we've all got our blind spots. Right, let's try Ahmed's 1-3's deck. These are the 1-2-3s of wisdom. I mean, this feels like quite a take, or have fun. If you are going to run into me on ladder, at least run into me on a deck that I haven't played. Ramp. Ahmed will correct me, sure, if there's anything I miss on. At the moment, we're just ramping. Air cover was kind of predictable. Do this. My garden is in the process of being improved by someone who's not me. Literally tomorrow, one of my care team is coming to do some extra hours. And part of what he will be doing is actually work on my garden. Kind of awesome. I'm quite looking forward to having a clear up on one of my other team earlier on this gave the garden hedge a good trim. So our hedge has finally been cut back because we're now legally allowed to do it. We have restrictions where we live on when we're allowed to. Things I should probably take some pictures of the house when it's actually been reset to some form of decency after the separation. I need to. I hope to. I mean, I'd like to get back on. If any of you do, although I don't know whether anyone even bothers to follow me on social media, but if any of you do, you will have noticed that of late, I have really not social media. No idea if I'm doing this right, but it feels like it's value. like we currently have. Yeah, and I don't think we have much way of options. We're dead. I will try and look that up. Weirdly, I've been doing a lot of World War II research recently because I'm in the process of writing a World War II setting, technically alternate reality World War II setting tabletop RPG. I think this is an acceptable for early ramp and roll. Because I'm not. So it depends on the mode I'm in. In this case, because someone has redeemed a thing. Also, I would say this is a meta deck. I've played this on ladder. I played into this on ladder. I don't know it well enough, but I have played into the deck on ladder. Is actually quite meta. But I think when it comes to like my mainstreaming and stuff like that, even if someone hasn't redeemed it, I'm not a competitive player. I don't have the desire to be a competitive player. I did that wrong. And therefore I don't often. Like, you will see me occasionally on a run. I was on a relatively meta deck at the start of this stream. But it's got to be something I'd enjoy, and I've got to be. A reminder to everyone to keep it polite. You're welcome to disagree, but if anyone gets personal, I'm liable to get cranky. Oh, okay. That thoroughly hilarious. Free speech is fine with politeness and having some disagreement based on deck composition. Not liable to make me too cranky. But at the same time... Well, that was disappointing. You're free to say that Twitch is full of people who don't think or speak carefully. Please don't ever use that word in my presence again. It specifically calls out people with an actual... And I technically am one of them. Preferably, merely my own, fair enough, point of view, just never use the word. But disability, mental health problems aren't insults. Neither is sexuality, race. Not thinking correctly, unthoughtful, perhaps undereducated on the subject they're speaking on. I mean, I don't use words that are intended to be directly offensive in conversation, period, unless I am angry. But just avoid any word that is using any personal trait, whether that is illness, race, religion, connected, as an insult. Ever. Is my view on life. On the plus side, we're never going to run out of credit. But certainly words like thoughtless, insensitive, overconfident in one's own opinion would apply to... Yeah, something along those lines. Like coming up with an insult. Again, it's not the issue with people using profanity or insults as much as it is the concept that something that negatively affects someone's life is worthy of being used as a way to insult other people, because it suggests that anyone with damage to their brain is lesser than. That makes sense. Which, in this instance, includes me. As many of you will know, I have actual brain damage. And therefore, in the traditional use of that word, would have been included. And it did mean that I was less capable. Oh, hello. Speaking of meta onto meta, I feel capitulation is coming. Yes, I do. Yes, I would definitely, as Sonny knows, that would be my preference for the base point. Would be just bypass being insulting, but No, he's just hey Anton. No, no, it's nothing personal. I consider Ahmed to be a friend of mine. I just will correct the use of certain kinds of language because I don't think it's valuable. I very much know that Ahmed has no negative intent. Yeah, I would say that's quite fair. I'm not sure that there is any legitimate belief on the internet that manners and consideration are anything to be involved, which I personally would like to see change, but I'm a dinosaur. Cost 3. Convenient. May die now. Insert. That's legit. Capitulation. I'll give you that one. That's fairly cool. Might be useful eventually, but not right now. Help us. He's down to try and do something interesting next turn. But yeah, no, there's no. Please be aware that I'm not angry at anyone. I don't tend to do that. Obviously. If only. We can hipper you. Can I have my unit? Hello. Thank you very much. Fair enough. Thank you, Red Sun, and I do try and remember it. It's occasionally challenging. I've spent most of my life being an advocate, as you know. That's a disappointing loss. Like, I truly and genuinely know that team ourselves. Last one. No, I truly and genuinely know that no one here has the negative intent. I just... It's one of those things where there are certain words that I wish would never have been made negative in the first place. And then there are other ones that are so strange, like the younger people nowadays. Using sexuality as an insult is so particularly the casual way in which hold on to route. Mainly because this could very well be burned. Yeah, I try, as you know, to be an understanding human. If I do ever come across as being a little affected by something, bear in mind it's generally nothing personal. 3s into 7 Schutzens not terrible, considering we actually need an early game. I know. Give it long enough and they'll find something else to say. There's always something. Get intro. That's 1, 2, 3s. I just bounce you, put this thing off at its root. Or I could just press you to get off of it. Valid. Um, Yeah, about 51% is probably fairly close. Yeah. No, I know. It's yes, the question of who defines what's normal is kind of fundamental point, I think. Solar flare. Oh, what's occurring? Do. Oh, problems. Okay, try and mass out. Songs are pretty cool. Music's always pretty cool. No, 'cause yeah, it's my temptation. It really is. You get 2 damage out of it. Okay, we would get 2 damage out of it. The iPad would respond. And then it's 10k. Hmm. Problem. Okay, so now we have to open answer. Sure. What I will say, and it is only a comment, that right now, top 50 will probably have a number of variant lists because um, everyone is still digging because it's very early in the season. I was talking about this on the that was not the that I was. Think we're just going to lose to Comet. I'm generally unconvinced about the idea that there's any such thing as the one and only deck. Kinda have to draw to see if we get an answer. Yeah, it's not good. Enigma debatable in its usefulness, unfortunately. Can't actually proc anything. And they found Comet. And we discarded Comet. Or more accurately, removed it from our deck. Right. I'm gonna go see who we're gonna raid. I believe people about. For those whose decks I was playing, I will say I was definitely not at my best this evening. I am very tired. You are extremely welcome. We're going to go say hi to Meneerdank. Who is playing some form of survival game. I will, thank you. I will indeed take care. It's going to be a long week, pray for my soul, with lots and lots of financial stuff that needs sorting out. But thank you all for being here. I'll see you next time I stream, which, I don't know, it'll be when it'll be. Tuesday, probably, but it might well be before then. And keep your eyes open. Make sure to join my Discord, which I should actually promote. I will not, don't worry. It's just been a long week.